Sports Radio 610 WIP, Steve Trevelise. No Eagles game starts officially without the smell of the gravy, the pot of sauce being put on in the morning. And in Philadelphia, that only means one thing. The Gravy Wars. I got Lorraine Ranalli, who we used to work together at Shadow Traffic 100 years ago. I leave to do overnights on IP. She goes on to be a big-time author over here. Did this start from the time that we had the meeting and we argued over who made the best tomato salad, and that morphed into take your favorite dish to work day?
You know, that was part of it. That there were so many scenarios like that, and you know how this is. We all think that, you know, we make the best everything, and we do.
Well, you go down to the tailgating outside the link, and that's all it is. Everybody screaming about their stuff. Everybody, you know, the smells. I love the food down there.
It's great. You've got hoagies and meatball sandwiches and roast beef, roast pork, and it's just a wonderful aroma everywhere you walk.
And it's smart to call it Gravy Wars and not Sauce Wars.
Well, because part of the war is whether you call it gravy or sauce. Now, you know, having that New York Italian blood in you, you probably grew up calling it sauce, but everybody...
No, I called it gravy.
You did?
Yeah, we called it gravy all the time.
I love it. Well, I get mixed response when you go outside of the region, and even in the Philly region, a lot of people who didn't grow up in an Italian household called it sauce. So I was forever explaining to my friends, no, gravy. It's not the stuff you put on roast beef. It's red. It's tomato sauce.
Exactly.
You know, the stuff you put on roast beef is brown gravy.
So is this like wooden spoons at 50 feet, and then you turn and fight with the spatulas?
Pretty
or what
much,
is this?
yeah.
Uh-huh. So now what's the story? Tell me about the Gravy Wars.
Well, Gravy Wars started out, like you said, just an amalgamation of different scenarios that I had in my head. And one night, well, actually it was Christmas Eve '05, the light bulb went off. I had extreme agita because I wasn't prepared in a timely manner like I'd like to be. Guests were coming in. I always have the open house, if you recall, and we try to do 7 fish, and we do a bunch of other food, and everybody's talking about my food and how they love it. And I said, you know what, I ought to write a cookbook. Between the simple recipes that I do that have been watered down from generations, and between the funny scenarios and these little wars we have, you know, is it gravy or sauce? Who makes the best gravy? Who makes the best stromboli, the best pizza? You name it. We're always arguing about something.
Well, yeah.
So I started collecting all these thoughts in my head and writing them down. Gathered a bunch of original family recipes, which that itself was very difficult because nobody has anything written or measured. It's all kind of by eye and taste. And then, lo and behold, I have a book. We have a whole chapter on the superstitions, and then we have, of course, you know, whether there's just everybody has a different opinion about how the Maloiks is supposed to be carried out. How do you get rid of the Maloiks?
You wear the horn around your neck, too, the whole thing, right?
No, I don't do the horn. I did the horn when I was a kid. I thought it was cool. But
my grandmother's do the evil eye.
Yeah, well, that's the Maloiks, the evil eye.
Yeah.
Malocchio.
Well, you know, the thing about it, though, is that, you know, everybody's got their own recipe. And, you know, the old days is like, you know, you never give up the secret to the sauce. You know, and you're another one, because I used to ask for the recipe when you used to make the quiche Lorraine Ranalli at Coffee.com.
I can give you that recipe. That's in the book. Quiche Lorraine Ranalli's in the book.
Finally.
Yes, so you'll have to try it yourself. But yeah, there's no secrets here. We actually were pretty forthcoming, and I encourage everybody who tries everything to put your own spin on it, because that's the way to do it. You can't be afraid in the kitchen. And it's funny, you know, we talk about superstitions. How many athletes have you interviewed who have, you know, special game day underwear, special game day rituals with what they eat, you know?
Well, we keep trying to tell them to change the underwear from game to game, but God forbid they should listen, you know? Unlike the gravy, it's not better with age, you know what I'm saying?
I hear you.
But I mean, like with you, with the Gravy Wars, I know from growing up, you know, like I wish I had, my grandmother died in 1976. I lived with her for a couple of years when I was a teenager, and there was nothing better than being, you know, I used to come home late. My grandmother, we were Italian, so therefore we had the real kitchen that was downstairs underground in the basement.
The upstairs kitchen?
The upstairs kitchen was just for show, which we never used. The upstairs kitchen in an Italian household was like the dining room that is today. You never go in it. You just admire it.
You just
Yeah, and then downstairs, though, my grandmother had 15 children, so there was, God forbid, you threw any kind of party, a first communion, an engagement, whatever, without having her do the catering.
Right.
So you'd sit there and you'd watch her, and she made everything from scratch. And it was great living with her for that. But I wish today that I could have one day with my grandmother back then, because I would take out a camcorder today, and I would just follow her around, because whatever recipe you asked for. A little bit of this, a little bit of that. Not too much of this, not too much of that, right?
You have to watch, and you have to watch over and over again, and I talk about that in the book. And it's funny, I talk about the upstairs and downstairs kitchen. How about the living room or parlor? Same thing.
Well, yeah,
Plastic
and you weren't allowed in
covers.
there either, because only an Italian household with the living room or parlor be all decorated. There'd be newspapers across the carpet, so you can't walk across the carpet. There'd be a gate.
A gate or a rope. It would look like a theater or a funeral parlor.
Yeah, like we're selling admission. What do you get to sit in the parlor? Oh, thank you very much. I feel very royal here in this house. It's like, then like you never know. Like a bride may walk in. You do the Wizard of Oz walking across the carpeting, But
what you say is priceless. If you could just have Grandma here to watch it, one more time.
But that was the secret. And you can't get those recipes because they never wrote them down. And it was the same thing with the gravy was. Like everybody believes that their cooking is the best cooking. And do you feel like today, like, you're young. What are you, like 33, 34? 28, 27, right? Your contemporaries don't get that at all. I remember my grandmother, like if she lived today, she'd probably be in, I don't know, over 100 now. But she used to bitch about my mother, who would be 75 if she were alive today, going, these kids today with the frozen food, they don't know how to cook.
Exactly.
Today you buy the ragu.
My mother does that now. Oh, everybody works, nobody cooks. This is why America is fat.
Uh-huh.
Everybody's eating out. There's some truth to that because I love food. We're so passionate about food. You know it. When we worked together, we lived for Fridays when everybody'd bring their favorite dish in.
Oh, yeah.
And none of us were overweight.
Not at all.
We ate well, but we ate wisely. And that's the secret.
Now, tell me how you lose weight with the gravy wars.
Just eat little portions.
Yeah, eat little portions.
Enough with the fettuccine Alfredo. Do it with the red sauce.
Well, the red sauce, everything moves nice the way you want it to move, right? We can't be talking about this on the radio. But, all right, so tell me, where's the book? Now, before we do this, we got to make this sports. So if you're cooking for the game.
If you're cooking for the game, you want to look at the chapter that I have on panini, pizza, and stromboli. Because you can make stromboli the day before, the week before, and freeze it, and then bring it down for your tailgating. Perfect recipes in there for the big games, okay? We have the big basketball games coming up. We just had the Super Bowl. A pot of gravy with meatballs and then sandwiches. It's so easy to entertain in an Italian house because there's always so much, and there's so much you can do. Pizza cold, we love it, right? Mm-hmm. Then somebody asked me, Italians are famous for desserts. And you know what I say? We don't make desserts.
No.
No, we make sweet tables.
Oh, yeah.
We have courses just for the dessert.
When I die, that's what I want at my funeral. I always said this. I want the coffin up front so everybody come and see me. And then in the back of the corner of the room, because you're stuck there in an Italian funeral, you spend like 3 hours, 3 days, right?
Too funny.
I want in the corner, I want a little Viennese table and a coffee bar so people are going to sit there talking about me to get have a little nosh or something to eat. I think that's a good idea.
Oh, yeah, we'll put a comedian in there, too.
No, I've been buried enough. He's right where he belongs. All right, where do we get the Gravy Wars?
You can get it at gravywars.com. That's the website. Get on that website. Have fun with it. You can order the book through Amazon, but on the website, gravywars.com, I have a blog, Cucina Chatter.
Cucina Chatter,
because we talk in the kitchen. Parliamo nella cucina, right?
Uh-huh.
And you can respond to any of the posts. And I did have earlier in the month some guest bloggers, and I'll do that again. So get on there, get your contact info in there, give me your recipes and your stories for the sequel. We're doing Gravy Wars 2, Gravy Wars Down the Shore. We'll get all your crab and spaghetti recipes in there. But I have sponsors with the book. We put the book out with the help of Cento, Toludo's Pasta and Cheese, Canals Liquor, Bella Pizzelle. There's a bunch of, about 9 sponsors, and you can get the book through them. Some of them are selling them at a discount.
Uh-huh.
So best thing to do is gravywars.com, but it'll be in Barnes & Noble and Borders and all that in a few days. This
is great, gravywars.com. You buy this book, Lorraine Ranalli will come to your house with a wooden spoon and beat you.
Yeah, don't make any promises.
Take it easy, kiddo. We'll talk.
Thank you. Take care.
Sports Radio 610 WIP.